You say you want to know what ray tracing is all about. You say you want 4K 60 frames per second content to demonstrate what ray tracing is all about. You say that, but this isn't the place for that. I'm just kidding. This video will be in 4K 60 frames per second, and I'm going to highlight ray tracing on Watch Dogs Legions. This is the game that's known to push ray tracing out the wazoo. Sometimes my thoughts get way ahead of my mouth here, and I tend to stutter a bit. But what I'm going to do in this video is talk in a very professional announcer's voice, like most YouTubers do, to get you to subscribe. Notice the Bloom sign across the street. You see it? Bloom. Look in the street how it's reflected. In real time. I move the camera. Bloom is still reflected in the street. I walk. It's still there. The lighting from the signs and from the street lights is reflected in real time. That is ray tracing. Now, if I wanted to, I could play this game in 60 frames per second, albeit with ray tracing turned off. What does that look like? Let's do it. We go into the options, down to display. We put it on balanced, and we back out. And there we go. Now, this Bloom sign is still being reflected in the street there. However, when I move the camera, you see how it sort of just disappears and then draws in? Drawing it in, and then drawing it out. Let's move over to there so you can actually see it a little bit better. Move the camera, it just vanishes. A lot of the effects in the street just draw in and draw out. They're not real-time ray-traced reflections, they're just a trick to make it look good while you play the game, which is what most of us have been used to in the past playing video games. But with ray tracing, all of the lights are dynamic, and they're displayed in real time. Everything looks so much creamier, steamier, and dreamier. And nothing is drawn in. No matter where you move the camera, the reflections are still there because they're being generated in real time. You also have the reflection of your character and everything else in the world in the glass as you walk by. So it definitely looks very good. And I think it's an effect well worth leaving on. Now, there are 60 frames per second purists who think every game should be 60 frames per second no matter what, and that's fine. You do have the option, but I like the graphical effect here. I love the way that it soaks you in to the atmosphere, and I think it's well worth the trade-off. Unless, of course, the game is absolutely broken and you need that 60 frames per second. But I haven't had any issues playing this game here. Look at that reflection. All the way down there, that purple lighting on the building there is reflected in real time right on the street. I mean, that looks incredible. And again, it sucks you into the world. I wanted to say sucks you in, so I just worked that in there. Yeah, I definitely think this is an effect that you'd want to leave on in Watch Dogs Legions, but I don't know. I know some people love that 60 frames per second, so let's check it out again. There's the reflection in the street in real time. We'll go back down to display, and we'll put it on balanced. We'll go back in there, and of course, that reflection in the street is gone. It's just not there anymore. But the game is fast and fluid at 60 frames per second. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I happen to like the ray tracing effects in this game, and I think I'm going to like them in any game that offers it. And I'll probably keep the high graphical settings this generation for every game, as opposed to the 60 frames per second option, if it means I'm going to be missing out on these bells and whistles. But I mostly play single player games, so if I was a multiplayer person, I would definitely want that 60 or 120 frames per second, because you need that. But in a single player game where you're looking for story, you're looking to be engaged in the atmosphere, the characters, and the world, the graphical settings at high are definitely what you want to use. That's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. Think about liking and subscribing and sharing this video out on your favorite social media platform of choice. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Thanks for watching.